Hi, my name is Chris Gibbins and this is my Studio 2 map. My Studio 2 map is a CTF and one team will spawn here and the other team spawns on the other side. The spawn points are symmetrical and this is purely for balancing, so it's fair when it doesn't matter what team you're on. However, as you go around the dam, there are objects which are on one side which aren't on the other. This is so the map doesn't look boring. It's not really straightforward, symmetrical nature, although it still stays balanced. As you can see on this side, as you run up, there is a container. You can get on top of the container, or you can use it as cover, so the opponents don't see you coming. You can flank around the side, or you can take that path, or you can go over the top. Whereas on this side, you can use the catwalk as cover, or you can even run along it and use the bars as a bit of cover as you're progressing forward down the map. I feel like this dynamic, it's more professional because when you look at games like Call of Duty, although the maps are symmetrical, they're very different on either side, so it keeps the players' engagement in the actual map itself. So I've tried to recreate this on my map. As well as it being for symmetrical purposes, during playtesting after the Christmas build, we found that players were camping on either side as they could see quite far away, so this was affecting the enjoyment or the replayable factor of the map. So to combat this, the catwalk and the turned over container was added in as extra cover, so players could progress forward and they won't be stuck in their base. And this goes nicely alongside the fog, which the density has been increased, so the depth of field is less, so it encourages close quarter battles rather than staying afar. I also found adding in the concrete blocks was useful, as it gives another layer of cover when out in the open. Also, during game testing, we found that the tower was very overpowered, as there was only one entrance into the building, and therefore whoever grabbed the rocket launcher first could easily defend themselves. And again, this affected how fun people's experiences were on the map. So although it wasn't originally planned, I've made the water swimmable. This means that the player can now use the ladder. There's now a ladder on the back of the tower, so there's multiple ways to actually get the power weapon. So say if someone from the other team is camping up there, and has already got the power weapon, you can easily sneak around and swim underwater and use this ladder in order to assassinate him from behind. Also, from playtesting, we found that only having one power weapon wasn't enough, because it weighed too much in the favour of the team that had it. So to combat that, we added in another one at the bottom. This is a shock rifle, and this is dead centre again, but on the other side, so it's possible to get the shock rifle as the other team while still them having the rockets, and they can't just camp it and kill you over and over again. This is my Kismet for the lifts. This allows the player to not only use the lift to go up and down. Say if the lift is at the top and you're at the bottom, you can recall it down, so you're never just stuck. And I'll demonstrate now. I'll demonstrate this now in game. Okay, so this is my lift in game using the Kismet. So say if I press the button to go down, to get out, let's just quickly press the button but not go up. So say if you're down here, you can just come along, press the button on here, and it will come down. And that's my lifting Kismet. During designing the map, I wanted to create various different routes to get to the map, because I felt this improved the complexity of the gameplay, as it introduced different choke points and different opportunities to get the flag back. So obviously you have your the top route, but we have the catwalk as well, but also now we have the underground one. The underground one is like a dynamic change in the level, as it's the player's option, because there's a fractured mesh which when shot reveals the underground path, and this can be done at any point during the match. So here is the underground section. As you can tell, it's very dark and eerie, and it's full of toxic barrels. I've purposely spaced out very dim lights, as I wanted to encourage close quarter gameplay in these various different sections. As you can see, there are a lot of different barrels in place to use as cover. It's a very secretive path, and you can also use it as a flank, as you can, if the other team haven't opened up the underground yet, you can come from underneath and shoot it open so they don't even know you're coming. When building my underground tunnel, I used 256 by 256 walls made out of CSGs. I did this because I wanted to create a few different tileable textures, so I could break up the walls a bit so it wasn't just the same linear texture all the way through, which I'll now show in my material editor. See, I've got my first one, which is just your bog standard wall. But then I've also got ones which break up little pieces of dirt in it. So I just helped this, I felt like this helped the aesthetic nature of my underground tunnel. Another thing that, another bit of feedback that I got from playtesting was a lot of people were, by accident or on purpose, jumping off the cat rail onto this section below, which is not part of the map, it's just the environment around. So to combat this, I've added a kill Z box, which will automatically kill them if they try and jump off the catwalk. I also decided to bring in some trees using Speed Tree, just so it could add to the authenticity of the map. But whilst using Speed Tree, I found that the river was quite bare, so I created my own weed texture within Speed Tree and added them in just to give a bit more detail to my map. Within my map, I have concentrated on using a mixture of diffuse, specular and normal maps on all of my models, and a perfect example of this is my solar panels. I feel like this came out well because the normals and the specular complement each other to create this very shiny circuit board embossed texture. I've opened up the solar panel in Photoshop just to give a demonstration of how the process goes on making it what it is. And firstly started off with the UV and then adding in different layers of blending options to get the circuit effect within the group of polygons. I also took advantage of UDK's decal system. I created a few of my own decals, various different leaking ones or moss or a bit of rust, so that I could just add a bit more level of detail to my map. without having to go into materials and change them. I've also added in a post-processing volume within my water, which turns it very like a murky green and then blurs your vision a bit to make it seem more realistic when you're underwater. Also with my fluid water actor, I added in various nodes and texture samples of foam, which allows it to interact with objects. So it produces a very discrete layer of foam around the outside, so it looks like it's actually hitting the object. From my previous build at Christmas, I have remodelled the sniper tower, as originally it had windows, but this was too easy for players inside it to get killed. So instead of that, I've remodelled it so you cannot actually see inside it. So again, it does help with close quarter gameplay rather than people just camping. As talked about before, you can see my normals for all my textures, my speculars that I introduced as well. And my favourite normal map is it's got to be the one for the solar panel, as it really gives that embossedness and pulls out the hexagons away from the actual circuitry behind. So I was particularly proud of this one. As you can see, all the path nodes are set up and the defend point is set up so the AI know where to go and what to defend within the capture the flag game type. Alright, so we'll just have a quick play run through of my map. So how it would start is you'd start here with the team, and say for instance I want to take the lift down. I'd run down here as quick as I can, maybe pick up a health vial if I need it. And so now I've got the power weapon. I can still proceed onwards to their flag, and let me just call the lift down. So now I'm in their base. I could now grab the flag and change the dynamic of the play and open up the underground. And now the underground's open, I can jump down and run through here as quickly as I can, maybe using the barrel as cover. Just quickly run through here. And now there's a ladder here, but see my section's not open, but because I can open it from underneath, I can quickly just jump on the ladder. And up I am, and I've made it back. As you can see around my map, there are various blocking volumes. This is simply to stop the player in going areas where they're not supposed to, without killing them. And finally, this is just a brief overlook of my level.